now, ladies and gentlemen. 10 months ago today, Valve came out of the blue and announced Counter-Strike 2. They started off with 3 trailers showing gameplay, map design change, and other things such as the new sub-tick system. Months before its release, we saw through data mines a new Counter-Strike game on the Source 2 engine was in the works. This was due to an NVIDIA driver leak, suggesting that the new Counter-Strike game would just be called Counter-Strike 2, and most of this was being done by Gabe Follower and Aquarius. There were other data miners, but these were the 2 top dogs at the time. Most of us, that being players, but also data miners, had an idea of what Source 2 would bring to the table for the Counter-Strike franchise, but at the same time, a lot of others didn't. A few months before its announcement, it was no longer a question if this was possible to port CSGO over to the Source 2 engine. It was just a matter of when. Imagine the game what most came to know as the main staple in the esports and CS franchise just to one day disappear and be replaced by its modern day version, that being CS2. CS2 was officially announced on the 22nd of March last year, that giving Valve 10 months to work in the game post-launch, but also let players playtest the game, but also give feedback in order to fix the biggest problems and add more things such as content. Some players at this very moment still consider CS2 to still be in a limited test due to the current state of the game. Limited content, stripped features from a 10-year-old game, and there's dozens of other reasons, but we're not going down that rabbit hole for today's video. Today's video, I want to look and see how much progress has been made so far from the 10 months when it started all the way until now. Has Valve kept their word saying they're fixing the game and not releasing new content? We'll answer all that and a bunch more in today's video. Today's video sponsor is Skins Monkey. Skins Monkey is a buying and trading marketplace where you can trade off your old skins for something new. All you do is log in with Steam, then you trade the skins you no longer want to pick up the new skins you want to obtain. Any remaining cash from trading goes to your balance that can be used in any future trade. By using my code MANDO, you can get up to a free $5, and if you choose to deposit alongside using my code, you get a total of a 35% deposit bonus. With Skins Monkey's large variety of skins, they also offer daily, weekly, and monthly giveaways. If interested, it'll be the top of the link in the description below. Firstly, for today's video, what brought this to my attention? Well, it's the recent lack of updates, content, and recent posts from Thor CS, to whom I suggest you go check out for all and everything CS2 data mining related. Thor CS put out a tweet early yesterday morning saying 10 months ago today, CS2's limited test was announced. A major CS2 update before February 14th, 2024. Someone said this, but I'm not really sure. Now take that all with a very large grain of salt, but this is just me showing you guys what kind of sparked the idea for today's video. I guess a 10-month in review, but mostly how far have we come? With recent controversies inside Counter-Strike 2, the player count has recently dipped to an all-time low. But just like its problems, it has to get worse before it gets better, just like the news as well. Let's quickly rewind to last year. CSGO was at its peak and players were desperate for a new game on a new engine. We had months of teases through data mines and leaks which caused player numbers to hit an all-time high, and when those 3 trailers dropped from Valve's YouTube channel alongside Twitter, everything changed. CS2 was partially released with the limited test, while 99.9 if not more percentage of the CS player base was still left on CSGO. After minimal updates for CSGO in the years prior, CS2 came in hard and fast.
That's what she said!
We started receiving 1 to 2 updates every single week. It was not just feeling like a new game, but also a new company running the scene and pulling the strings. Now I know what most of you are probably going to say, well, they had to, and yes, they did. I would argue without skins and without the success that Global Offensive had within this last 3 or 4 years, Counter-Strike 2 probably wouldn't even been an option on the table. I mean, to release in general. Probably would have never been made if player numbers and sales weren't as high as they were in CSGO. Not many games, especially something as basic as Counter-Strike, lives on to 20 years plus in just gaming in general. That's pretty rare. Now we fast forward to the present until the last 2 months of 2023, where updates started to slow. Instead of getting 1 to 2 a week, we started getting 1 or 2 every 3 weeks. And these updates that we got also started becoming very shaky, with dozens of game-breaking bugs sneaking through the cracks. At this very moment, on the 24th of January 2024, that all seems to be fixed. Now, getting away from player count and updates in general, the gameplay as of right now feels amazing, at least compared to the limited test. Yes, the game has its problems with latency and sub-tick. At least when you have a good ping, it all feels great. The first month of the limited test, let alone the full game's release when CSGO servers were shut off, now fast forwarding to right now, the game feels as smooth as butter. At least most of the time. That being only if you don't crash every 5 rounds while everything loads in. I now want to date back to that PC Gamer article that they had with Valve to see if they kept their word. Now, long story short, have they kept their word? Yes. For those of you who don't remember or don't know at all, this was an interview Valve had with PC Gamer, and this was actually pretty important. I was very surprised of how many content creators and just people in the CS scenes kind of skipped over this. Valve hardly ever, if ever, even does an interview with anybody, especially let alone PC Gamer, mainly just for Counter-Strike. If Valve talks about anything, it's normally something to do with Dota, the Steam Deck, or something so far from Counter Counter-Strike, you just can't even explain the two. In this article, they discuss their wrongdoing inside CSGO over the last 10 years, where they didn't listen to the community. They were too quick to jump to conclusions when releasing things like the revolver or just cases in general when the game is broken and the community wanted the game fixed. And they said they learned from that, and that's kind of what they've done this past year. Instead of releasing content or something brand new, they're rather fixing the game. Now, are they taking their sweet time? You can argue that. Valve also mentioned how they're going to release new maps, guns, and modes. Now, they haven't done any of that, at least as of right now, but I think they're going to be planning on that as of the next couple of years. The main reason they stuck to what they said with this article is they were asked what their plans are for year one of Counter-Strike 2, and they said it wasn't really to do with anything new or content-wise. It was just going to be fixing the game, and that's what they've done. The game isn't near perfect, but it's also not nowhere as bad as when the limited test started. It's a completely different game. The game feels different, and there's not as many bugs. Not to say that there's not problems, but we've come a long way, and I think you have to see that. Now, what do you guys think down below? This 10-month review alongside this PC Gamer article shows that Valve has made a lot of progress on CS2 since it first came out, despite player problems and lack of things being fixed, and to which the speed they actually happen. Like I said earlier on in the video, I think when it comes to updates and content getting added to Counter-Strike 2, things have to get worse before they get better. And I believe this was in Valve's plans when releasing Counter-Strike 2. There's going to be a lot of droughts and downtimes where there's not anything new or to do in the game because they have to fix the game in order to add new things first. And hopefully within this next 3 to 4 months, possibly even before the first major for Counter-Strike 2 in March of 2024, in just the next couple of months, things will be fixed and we can start to get the ball rolling, where new content such as an operation, cases, maps, modes, and features from CSGO and just new things in general can be added. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Stay positive, sexy. I'm out, guys.